But Corey, there's so much to this business. I really want to be a full-time musician, career artist, but I'm so overwhelmed with everything there is to do. How can I deal with all of this? Well, let me tell you, if we want to simplify this, you really only have two problems. Let's talk about them today. Welcome to Nashville Artist Development University, where we provide artists like you with education and resources to build a full-time music career and a healthy life around music. My name's Corey Brunson. I've been a full-time musician, performer, and recording artist for the past 20 years. If you haven't yet, hit the like and subscribe button below so that you don't miss out on any of the updated education videos that we release in the future. Yes, the business can be very daunting. There's a lot to it. We actually have over 280 videos of education and resources that we do at naduniversity.com, and that really doesn't cover everything, but it's enough to get you there. So how can we make this simpler? Not so daunting, not so crushing and overwhelming at times. Well, let's boil it down to really, as I've talked to artists over the years, I've found out you only have two real problems that are keeping you from a full-time music career. One of which I can help you with. The second one you're going to have to do on your own. So the first problem artists have is they don't have access to enough of the correct information on how to build a music career. Out there on your own, you're playing in the clubs, you're talking to other artists. Maybe some of you are going to a college and spending way too much money and taking on too much student loan debt, but it's not giving you enough of the information that you need to actually build a music career. So you need that, because otherwise you can work hard and have the best of intentions, be the best singer in the world, be the best songwriter on the planet. But if you don't really know how to navigate through this whole thing, it's going to be very difficult. So that's a problem that needs to be solved. That's why we have naduniversity.com. That provides you with the information and the path that you need to get a music career built and to live healthy inside this thing we call the music business. So there's a lot of good information out there in the world. A lot of it's very scattered. With NAD University, we put the path in front of you one step at a time in order. If you follow the program in order, it will take you from the beginning to the end of the major nuts and bolts of how to build a music career. So if that's a problem for you, naduniversity.com definitely is a source and the source of where you need to be getting your information so that you can have access to it at an affordable rate. That's why we built it. So naduniversity.com solves the first problem. What about the second problem? The second problem you're going to have to do yourself. And let's talk about that today at length. The second problem is simply implementation. Now let's step back for a second. Let's say that you have access to all of our naduniversity.com information. You're watching it, you're following it, you're listening to it, you're watching the videos, you're clicking on the resources, right? Well, let's pause for a second. Why would you not be successful after that? Well, let's talk about maybe a guitar student, because that's something we can all relate to. Let's say a guitar student, let's say you go to a guitar teacher, you want to learn to play guitar. Okay, back early on, most of you probably play already, but when you're starting out or you see a young person starting out now, go to a guitar teacher once a week, half hour. You watch the guitar teacher, you listen to what they're doing, you watch what they're doing. You go home, you hang the guitar on the hanger at home or put it in the case. Don't touch it for the week. Come back, and then you take your next half-hour lesson the following week. Is there anything wrong with that guitar teacher? Probably not. Most guitar teachers really know what they're doing and are teaching you good, right things. What's the problem in that scenario? The student is not implementing the teachings that the guitar teacher is teaching them. If you watch everything at naduniversity.com and you listen to it, and I've seen this happen over and over, unfortunately, and we really try to caution students against it, but it happens. If you watch it and expect us to fix you, that guitar teacher cannot fix that guitar student from going home, closing the guitar in the case and not touching it for the week. You have to implement everything that you're being taught. Now, if you don't have the information ahead of time, problem number one, we got to fix that first. But once you have the information, it's really up to you to take the information and run with it. Go to work, roll up your sleeves, and make it happen. So if you can do those two things, you will be successful in your career. Now, I've oversimplified this. That's what this video is today, the two problems that you have. But if you'll do those two things, you will be successful in the music business. So if you're not successful, I want you to step back and evaluate which of those two things are you missing? Whether it's naduniversity.com or not, are you missing the proper, adequate amount of detailed information that you need to have a successful music career? If not, you need to go find it. Okay. I've already told you where I think you should get it. And number two, are you implementing the right activities when they're told to you? If that guitar teacher, let's use the metaphor again. If the guitar teacher's telling you go home and do this exercise 30 minutes a day, every day, all week, and then come back, are you doing that? If one of these videos is telling you you need to go do this work, you need to get this in place, you need to practice doing this, you need to do this branding exercise or whatever it is, are you actually doing it? If it tells you to create a branding deck, have you created a branding deck? I've talked to students who they've watched all the videos and looked at it. And I say, okay, where's your branding deck? In the exercises, we told you to make one of these and we told you how to do it. Did you do it? And they go, no, those students do not have a full-time music career and we can't do anything about that. So I encourage you, step back, evaluate. It's one of those two things. I don't have the right information or enough of it. If I have it, I'm not implementing it every day, all the time. It takes a lot of work, okay? Which of those two things are you missing? If you're missing one or both of those things, fix it. Get after it, fix it today, make it happen. Going down the road of just white knuckling it yourself, guessing, hoping, trying, that's the road most travel. Most of the time that leads to burnout, failure, and does not lead to a full-time music career. It just doesn't. We want you to go down the road less traveled, get the right information and implement it, okay? If you know somebody else that needs this information to hear this talk today about these two issues, hit the share button and share that with somebody that needs it. And let's go down the road less traveled together.